Hi, everybody.
Can't do that. What's up? What up, what up? Geek the F out is in the building. Woo, woo.
Is it a building?
Okay.
Does it qualify as a building?
I don't know. We are somewhere.
That is.
We already have a
true
hashtag
statement.
from Allison.
What'd she
Welcome, everyone, to Geek the F Out, where GTFO gets lost. Do we get it? Do we not get it? I don't know. We'll find out by the end of this. If this is your first time watching, I'm Kayla, and this is Johnny.
Hello.
I'm going to speak for you.
That's okay. I have to pull up my notes.
Oh, good job. Perfect. If you haven't watched this before, this is Johnny's first time watching Lost, and this is my many a time watching Lost. So this is one of our rewatch series that we're doing on this channel, and it is my favorite show of all time, even though there's still some things that I've forgotten about rewatching it now. And yeah, today we're going to talk about season 2, episodes 13 through 24.
What's your second favorite show of all time?
I don't know. That's hard.
Okay. Because I know my favorite of all time is Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I don't know. It would have been Game of Thrones if they stuck the landing better, but they kind of shit the bed on that one. All right. Shall we say hi?
Yes. Hello to Allison. Jail for Kate. Lock her up. 100%. Quip is here.
Good.
Yarr.
Nick was
And
here earlier.
Nick Dillinger is here. Was 10
What,
minutes
what?
early. Those are our
Shall
our
we-
early peeps.
Shall we get into it? Oops,
Sure.
that is my own voice.
Yes, it
Make
is.
sure to smack that like, smack that subscribe, smack that bell icon. I'm doing that now before I forget. All right. Episode.
Oh my God, Allison.
They shit the bed like angry over her taking her vengeance. You know, that's good. You're not wrong, Allison, with that one. You're not wrong. So yeah, episode 13, The Long Con. This is a Sawyer-centric episode, and we have the flashbacks where Sawyer tries to con Cassidy, but she sees right through it, and they start conning together. They have a relationship built on conning. And she wants to do one long con together. Little does she know, she's actually the long con. And he admits it to her, but says he also has feelings for her and they're real. And has her escape because these guys are after her. But he really just still conned her after all. And he's still a piece of shit. On the island, Sun gets attacked and someone tries to kidnap her. But Kate and Sawyer think it's Ana Lucia. Well, Kate thinks it's Ana Lucia. And she wants to get the guns. And so Locke moves them. Jack is pissed. Plot twist, it was Sawyer all along. It was Agatha all along. Because all his stuff was taken, and when he was trying to rescue them, and he's sick of listening to Jack and Locke, which Kate's like, that's bullshit. You just want people to hate you again. But he doesn't admit to Sun, and we find out at the end that Charlie was the one helping Sawyer because he wanted Locke to look like a fool after what Locke did to him. Which, like, I don't know. I feel like what Locke did to him was kind of warranted because Charlie was starting fires to try to steal Aaron instead of, communicating better and saying, like, maybe he should get baptized. And, yeah, we have a side plot of Hurley trying to help Saeed by showing him the radio that the Tailies had. And at the end of the episode, Saeed ends up building an amplifier, and they get a radio station playing old-timey music. As Hurley points out, could be a different time. So what were your thoughts watching this episode for the first time, Johnny?
So the very first thing I have is go fuck yourself, Sawyer. Jack's right in this case. I forget what they were talking about. I think it was it the guns?
Maybe.
But then I also have,
Or it
but
could have
also
been with Sun too.
it was whatever was at the very beginning. But then I have also the dick measuring contest between these two is tiresome.
Yeah. And Kate even mentions it in a later episode, which is great.
I said, LOL, this scam again. And then LMAO, she's got you pegged, Sawyer. I think that was because the girl figured out that he was a con man. I said, don't get too sucked in with Ana Lucia, Jack. And then I wrote, do not tell me Ana Lucia and Jack staged Sun's kidnapping to scare everyone into starting an army.
Luckily not.
No, but I wasn't far off.
Yeah, you weren't far off. That is true. Yes, exactly, Allison. They need to just kiss. A little man-on-man will help resolve their issues. I know. Less toxic masculinity, more kissing. I agree.
That's what you get sometimes, Quip. That's what happens.
We would all love to peg Sawyer.
I had Kate and Sawyer going off on their own. How is Sun still out? I think I meant unconscious. Like, I guess she was unconscious. It felt like she should not be out that long. I said, Jack, do not write off your people's concerns.
Yeah.
I said, even Ana Lucia is calling Steve Scott.
That's one of my notes as well. I thought that was funny.
In the flashbacks, I was like, is Sawyer getting conned by her?
That would have been a good twist.
And then I said, Locke should move the guns.
And he did.
I said, Gordy is Spite Witwicky's dad from the Michael Bay Transformer movies.
Oh my god. Yes. I remembered that and then I forgot it when I was rewatching it again. I was like, what is he in? Yes. I love the OG Transformers.
Yeah.
Megan Fox. I mean, come on.
Jack and Locke butting heads over the guns now. I said, Sawyer, what a fucking petty asshole. LOL.
Yeah. I think Kate was right on the nose with it just being because he wants people to hate him.
I said, the long con. Has he been conning them all along?
It was Agatha all along.
Yeah. The I love her when he was unconscious with the infected shoulder. Was he talking about Cassidy, or was that part of the con? And then telling Cassidy to leave with the money. Is this part of the con, or is Sawyer being honest? Radio signal, or any time. Just kidding, dude. And I went, but what if he's right? What if it is from a different time? Sawyer and Charlie working together for the guns. Charlie took Sun, exclamation point. And then flashback, yep, it was all part of the con.
It was Agatha all along. I'm just going to keep saying that the whole time. Okay. Allison, yes. What is a little pegging among friends? Exactly. I noticed Locke's call back to Locke saying, what am I going to fall off a cliff? And I was like, well, Jack did almost fall off a cliff and you saved him. So yeah, which I think he did on purpose. And we also start off this episode with a bang with shirtless Sawyer and no complaints over here. And yes, I also found it amusing that even Ana Lucia gets Scott and Steve confused, which I don't even know which one's which at this point. And we do see in Sawyer's flashback when he's at the diner that it's Kate's mom's diner. So she serves them. And we have the iconic line, "There's a new sheriff in town, boys," from Sawyer. Very iconic. And that's all my notes. Ready to move on?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I started to read my notes about the next episode.
Oh, okay. Episode 14, One of Them. This is a Saeed-centric episode, and basically we get Saeed's origin story of how he first started torturing people, and we also get both Kelvin and Kate's dad in these flashbacks. So we got a double human Easter egg in here. And on the island, we have Rousseau showing up and shows Saeed that she's caught Henry Gale, and she shoots him with an arrow. They take him to the hatch, and Saeed tortures him, and he starts to break while torturing him because Henry doesn't know how many shovelfuls it took to bury his wife. And he's like, you would know every single one. And Jack finally has enough and makes Locke open the armory, then inputs the numbers and the hieroglyphs flash. And this is the first time we see the hieroglyphs. Very exciting stuff here. People loved to try to decode this. Then we have Saeed telling Charlie that he knows he's an other because he doesn't feel bad about what he did and because he hasn't forgotten what they did to him and Claire, aka Charlie and Claire. And we have a side story of Sawyer catching Hurley with his secret food stash. In exchange, makes him look for the annoying frog. And Hurley calls him out on his shit for all the nicknames he does. And Sawyer ends up killing the frog. And what did you think of the episode?
I wondered if I have in the flashback, so was Saeed lying or did his commanding officer lie to him? Jin not being happy with Sawyer, Hurley eating all the ranch, LOL. And then laughing at Sawyer keeping Hurley's food stash
Damn
secret.
ranch.
If he helps Sawyer find the frog, what about the ranch?
Everyone is like, I don't know, like, can people, like, leave ranch alone? So, like, I love ranch. Secret stash.
And then who dis in the trap? He's not dead, but that sucks. Henry Gale from Minnesota. And then I was like, is Saeed going to torture this dude? And I said, yep. And he's going to torture his commanding officer in the flashback. Jack just straight up told Locke to shut up, LOL.
Yep.
Saeed, I don't think is...
Off.
I think Saeed is not thinking clearly because of Shannon's death.
You think?
Yeah. We have Locke and Jack fighting about the combination. Locke almost misses the sequence and the sign flips to the symbols, which I took a screenshot of.
Good job. Proud of you. Little investigator you.
And then I said, is Saeed wrong? And Saeed is going militant.
Well, he ends up being right, as we know about Henry Gale. Yeah. So, watching this, did you think that Henry Gale was another, or did you think he was just another guy on the island and his story was true?
I started to think that he was... I started off thinking that he was, one of the others. And then as time went on, I flipped back to, oh, maybe this dude's, like, genuine. Maybe he's not one of these. And then, obviously, he flipped back to, oh, yeah, he's one of them.
Yeah. That's how good he is. And, it's a true testament to Michael Emerson's acting for the character. Because, yeah, even when I was rewatching it this time, I was just like, God, he's just so good. Like, he's so good, and he knows exactly how to get into everyone's heads. Like, so good. But we'll talk more about that when we talk about season 2 as a whole.
And it was fun seeing him show up now in Fallout. Now that I'm more familiar with him, I've seen him in this. He showed up as
Evil too. He's been in a lot of things. He's great.
And he is doing the voice of I don't know. I don't necessarily want to spoil it because it's something in later episodes of. He's doing a voice in My Adventures of Superman, or My Adventures with Superman. He has a voice of one of the characters in some of the later episodes of season 2.
Yeah, I still need to finish season 1. I just fucking like the whole hot air balloon story. Clearly there's a hot air balloon there, and like someone like the OG Henry Gale died. But yeah, it's just like, who takes a hot air balloon around the world? I don't know. And I loved Hurley's line of, maybe he'll find Mrs. Tree Frog. That was cute.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all. That's all my notes on the episode. Shall we move on to the next?
Yes.
All right, episode 15, maternity leave. This is a Claire-centric episode, which you can just kind of guess from the title. But instead of her actual maternity leave, it is flashbacks to what happened when she was kidnapped, which watching this again is so crazy to me because I don't they had to have known a good bunch of what's happening because it just interconnects so well with season 1. Anyways, so the flashbacks we have of this time is Ethan giving her a shot for her baby, which is like a vaccine, and she I don't know. Okay, well, on the island, she asked Kate to find that place. I don't know why I put it in the same note. Ethan shows Claire the nursery, and there's a plane mobile of oceanic planes, which I was like, that is... Why? Why is that there?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we see Mr. Friendly, as we like to call him, aka Zeke, aka Tom, and find out that Ethan was supposed to make the list first before bringing Claire in, and then we have Alex helping Claire escape, and Claire remembers Rousseau actually helping Claire escape, and the irony that the mother and daughter helped her escape, but they never met in all of this. Is it's tough. And so yeah, on the island, Aaron is sick. Rousseau knows, or seemingly knows what's going on with him, and Claire starts to get flashes back to what happened and has Libby help her get her memories back. So yes, that's when Kate and Claire go to find Rousseau, and she takes them to the Dharma station, the staff, with Claire's help. So this is now the 3rd Dharma station we have seen on the show at this point. And inside the station, Kate discovers costumes and prosthetics that the others have been using to disguise themselves. Jack and Locke argue what to do about Henry. What else is new? Claire tells Rousseau that Alex helped her escape. She's not like the others. She's good, which, you know, Rousseau loved to hear, but, you know, still sad that she didn't actually get to see her daughter. Mr. Echo talks with Henry, telling him how he killed 2 of the others with his bare hands and asks him for forgiveness, and he cuts off little tufts on his beard. And Henry is really starting to play mind games with Locke, with pitting him against Jack, and just so good. Like this, like his character, these episodes that he's in, and his acting are just like a fucking triple threat. Like so fucking good. I love him and I hate him at the same time. But yeah, what were your thoughts on the episode?
It was I have, the first thing I've written down is Locke, why don't you just take her to Jack? Is it Claire in the beginning who's not feeling well?
Yes.
Yeah, so, and he's like trying to figure out.
But it was still like at night, going through the jungle. Better not. Especially with what happened to her.
Yeah. I have Claire getting her memories back. It's a vaccine. We don't want him to get sick, ? And then in all capital letters, Ethan is the doctor that gave Claire the shot! ! Interrobang. Echo saw the cot in the vault. I have Kate taking Claire to find the room where she got the shot for the baby. Said, what the fuck is this facility? I did write down the Dharma Nursery just happens to have a baby mobile with Oceanic Airways planes. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Who is the him that Ethan is talking about? Echo is a boss who wants to talk to Henry alone for some reason. The Dharma facility is a medical bunker of some kind that seems in disarray now. Never split the party. They split up. Never split the party. No. I also made note of the others' outfits in the locker, costume kit with theatrical glue. And then I said, oh, yeah,
Yep.
Henry's a plant. He's sowing the seeds of dissent. And I said, Locke getting mad and
Yep.
throwing plates. Do not let him get in your head, Locke.
Yep. Like, you think Locke would be smarter than that, but he's still human.
Yeah.
And that's, like, the good part of the show, especially because, you know, they must, at this point, over 2 months in, have a little bit of cabin fever, especially now being in a literal, like, hatch. So, yeah. I only have 2 notes. The irony of Claire asking Sun if she's a mother, very rudely asking her that, and then, you know, a couple episodes later, or literally the next episode, we find out she's pregnant. And then, yeah, we see Russo's interest is piqued in helping her when Claire mentions there was a teenage girl there. So it's like she's still obviously doing it for selfish reasons. Because she's like, my daughter, Alex. Anything else about this episode?
Not about this one. Nope.
Okay. Episode 16, The Whole Truth. This is Sun and Jin centric. The flashbacks are they are about to brown chicken brown cow.
I wrote
Trying to make
the exact same fucking thing. I have brown chicken, brown cow. Jin wants a baby.
Yeah, and we find out apparently they've been trying to make a baby for a year now, and they start to argue, and it's very much the trope that a baby will literally solve all their problems, which big eye roll to that one, because unfortunately a lot of people do that, and no, it's not good. Sun meets with Jay, who was the dude that she went on the matchmaker's date with, to learn English, and confides in him about their pregnancy struggles and her plan to move to America. And he tries to convince her to stay for him. She finds out she can't have kids because she has endo, and Jin gets mad and thinks maybe she knew about it before their marriage. And I was like, fuck you. And also I was like, that's kind of, given that like endo is more known about now 20 years later, like if he has any kind of sense, he would have known that she didn't have endo, you know, because the signs are fairly obvious. Obviously getting diagnosed is very difficult, and you have to have surgery to get officially diagnosed. But I was just like, you would have known, like she would have been in bad shape every month. And the OBGYN tracks down Sun and tells her it's actually Jin who can't have kids, but he was worried it would anger him too much if he told him that, which, honestly, smart. On the island, Jin gets extra protective of Sun and destroys her garden. Definitely a asshole move. Locke tells Anna Lucy about Henry and wants her to talk with him. She does, and he ends up drawing a map to his balloon and where his wife, quote unquote, is buried. She brings it to Saeed, and they set out to find it with Charlie. While they're stopped to camp, Anna Lucia apologizes to Saeed, and he blames the others and says that if Henry is one of them, he's gonna get revenge. And then Sun takes a pregnancy test and takes it with Kate. She is pregnant. She tells Jack and Kate not to tell anyone, but, you know, Sawyer pretty much suspects it because she got the pregnancy test from him. And, of course, he says congrats to Jin in front of Bernard. So then Bernard knows and everyone knows. And so Jin fixes her garden. That's what they said. And she tells him she's pregnant, and he's so happy, and then tells him that he was the one who couldn't have kids, and she hasn't been with anyone else, so he thinks it's a miracle, which, this title of this episode, The Whole Truth, is it The Whole Truth, Son? Is it? Is it? And Jack brings Henry out for breakfast, and he mentions the map, but neither Jack nor Locke know about it, and he says how it would be the perfect plan to ambush them and trade them in for him. Dun, dun, dun! I remember the ending of this episode being, like, so eerie feeling, because Yeah, we had to wait a week. We didn't know what was going to happen. Everyone was like, oh, fuck. They're, like, fucked at this point. So, anyways, what were your thoughts on the episode?
Yeah, I started with the same thing. Brown chicken, brown cow. Jin wants a baby. It will maybe make Son's father give him less dangerous work. A baby will fix everything.
Maybe.
I wrote, no, it won't.
Yeah.
And like Allison says, the baby only solves your problems if your problem was getting too much sleep and you time. Quip says,
Yes.
Babies make everything easier. No added stress at all. Bingo.
Yeah.
What should we do now? We have way too much free time. Oh, I have an idea. Yeah, Also, don't have kids to fix problems, and don't stay together for the kids. That is, just don't do it. Just fucking get divorced.
Yep. Because the kids know, and like, I don't know, it's gonna make it worse for the kids ultimately. And you have one life. Don't you want to be happy in your life?
Yeah.
Come on. I know it's easier said than done, but
Hashtag child free.
yes.
Also, I wrote that I thought Sun was either on birth control or infertile or was having abortions if she got pregnant. That was my thought at the end of that scene. Mm-hmm. I have Jin as being overbearing, worrying that Sun will get taken again. He tears up her garden and makes her go back to camp. I thought it was interesting that Locke said my hatch. Your hatch, Locke? Bernard and Rose come up.
Discovered it.
Yeah. Bernard and Rose come on Sun upset on the beach. Sun cheating on Jin with the original suitor. She's learning English with him. Locke shaving when Jack gets out of the shower. Talks about
we
Ana
didn't
Lucia.
see any cheating.
No, but it seemed like it to me. It was implied. They wanted
We'll
you to think
find out
that
later.
that's what it was.
Yeah, but we'll find out later for sure, one way or the other.
Locke is shaving
Sorry.
while Jack gets out of the shower, talks about Ana Lucia talking to him, but already has her talking to Henry. Bippity boppity. This is inappropriate.
That's pretty much Locke, yeah. Accurate.
I don't know if it's me or if someone's having, one of us is having internet issues. I don't know who it is. You're getting kind of.
You kind of glitched for a second.
You glitched on me too. So I don't know.
We're just glitching on each other now.
Apparently the whole internet went to hell today, so who knows?
Yeah.
Ana Lucia grills Henry, tells him to make a map to the balloon or else. Son gets a pregnancy test from Sawyer. Runs. According to Quit, we're both coming in clear. So I don't know, just a weird glitch. Runs into Hurley in the woods. Both are embarrassed about their secrets. Hurley and his food stash. The flashback shows the doctor saying Son has endometriosis and is not able to conceive. Obviously turns into not being true. I said if Locke can walk after being in a wheelchair, then maybe Son can get pregnant now. Saeed and Ana Lucia are teaming up. That's unexpected. Son is pregnant. Ana Lucia talks to Saeed and apologizes. I said Saeed is not dealing with Shannon's death well.
Nope.
There was a scene I wrote. Was Jin hearing them talk in Korean, or was that just supposed to illustrate how he doesn't understand them? I don't forget.
It's how
I
he
forget
doesn't.
which.
He doesn't understand. I think it's their voices backwards, from what I remember. It's like
Yeah. Son tells him she's pregnant, and I'm like, is it the bald dude's baby?
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see until next season.
And then the doctor tells Son he lies out of fear for Jin. It's actually Jin who is infertile. And then I'm like, so maybe the island healed Jin's infertility? We see a Dharma cereal box. Henry goes, wow, you guys.
Is... You're supposed to finish my sentence for me.
I don't... Magic?
Well, yes, but what do men take to make magic happen?
Are you talking about Viagra? Because that has nothing to do with fertility. That's just if you can't get a boner.
I know! It's a joke. Oh my god.
I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Continue.
That's why I'm like,
Continue.
okay.
But that could be part of it. You could just like not be able to get it up.
Yeah. I wrote, I'm not sure. Yeah, this is where I wrote, I'm not sure if he is one of the others or if the writers just want us to think that by making him a smarmy asshole as far as Henry goes. I wrote, I mean, for fuck's sake, Sawyer would probably fit in better with the others. The only thing that ties him to the 46 is that they were on the same plane.
Yeah.
And the connections in the past, like him running across Jack's dad and being at Kate's mom's diner, are coincidences. But
Are they? Are they though?
yeah. So that's all I had.
Nice. I wrote. Hey. Rose and Bernard bickering is so cute.
Rose and Bernard, what is so cute?
Bickering is so cute. Oh. They really are an old married couple.
Yeah.
Not necessarily married for a long time, but they're old and they're married. And Jack showering, shirtless. So, like, does no one else get to use the shower? These are the things I think about. Because, like, obviously Kate uses the shower, and I'm guessing, you know, Locke does, and probably Sawyer. But, like, can no one else, like the other 40 people, use it? Do they take turns? These are the things I think about. It's never discussed.
I don't think so, because I don't think it's this episode, but I think it's this season. It's one of the episodes coming up. Don't they start trying to, like, they're keeping people out of the hatch because of Henry? Like, they don't want people to know that he's in there?
Yeah, like, they try to keep Echo out, but...
Yeah, so I think I think the people who have access to the facility under the hatch are very few.
I don't know. If I was them, I'd be like, can I use the shower? Like, why can't they? Why can't you just have a rotating list and say, like, these people are on Mondays, these people are on Tuesdays? Because obviously everyone can't shower every day. So, anyways, just my random thought. I was more focused on Jack showering shirtless. And we have the shittiest drawing of a map to a balloon. Like, such a bad drawing. And Ana Lucia's line of, at least we're on the right island. I was like, we'll get back to that one. And when Kate says, who flies with a pregnancy test? I'm like, people that are trying to get pregnant, Kate. Like, I don't think it's that weird. Am I right? I was also trying to think, like, who of the characters was maybe that would have maybe had one, but I can't think of anyone. Because obviously not Claire, because she's already pregnant.
Yeah, she knew.
Yeah. I don't think Shannon. Definitely not Sun. I don't know. Anyways. I was very shocked. Yeah, I kind of said this before, but I was shocked that they used Endo as the reason why Sun couldn't have kids. Especially when, like, people barely know about it now. I think it was, like, even less known about 20 years ago. And Charlie wanting to eat on the trek is very a la his Hobbit persona of always wanting to eat. And that's it. That's all my notes.
Okay. I have the flashback to Locke's dad dying. I note Henry still sowing the seeds of dissent. Locke's mad and shoves him back into the armory. They find the balloon in the wife's grave. What?
Johnny. I haven't said anything about lockdown yet.
Oh.
Those are my notes for the whole truth. Clearly someone was paying attention.
I was reading my notes. I was getting ready to talk, and then everything that happened before that, I spaced, and I thought you were talking about this episode.
Anyways, episode 17, Lockdown, is Locke-centric. The flashbacks include Locke is preparing a picnic lunch to propose to Helen when she sees his father's obituary in the paper. They go to his funeral, but they're the only ones there, which is sus in and of itself. And Locke sees some very sus dudes in a car nearby. And while Locke is doing an inspection on Nadia's house, aka Saeed's boo thing, he sees the same car again, and his dad is in it. Surprise, surprise to no one. And they go to a bar, and he tells Locke he would have been killed by those two dudes since he owes them $700K, which I'm like, oh my god, you're still conning. Like, just retire already. Like, how have you not made enough to retire at this point? And Locke goes to the bank and gets the money, but comes home to the two bad guys in the house, and they ask if he's seen Locke's dad, and he lies to Helen about it. So when he brings the money to his dad, Helen shows up, and she gets mad, and he tries to propose to fix it, but she walks away. Very sad, but Locke, you did it to yourself. On the island, Charlie finds the balloon and grave. The hatch goes into lockdown and all the blast doors come down. Locke has to let Henry out to help him in exchange for letting no one else hurt him if he says who he says he is. Locke and Henry get the blast door open a bit, and Locke gets trapped under on his leg, and it's disgusting. He has Henry go through the vent to put in the numbers, and apparently he enters them in time, and the lights go out, and Locke sees a hatch map on the back in blue light, and people went fucking nuts. Like,
I bet.
This shit was dissected down to the fucking letter. And the blast doors open again, and Henry's still there. And then we have this side story of we'll get to this in a second. The side story of Sawyer and Jack and others are playing poker for food and other supplies, and Jack plays and wins, well, at least some medical supplies. I don't think he wins all of them. And Jack and Kate are walking through the jungle when they see something flashing and find all new Dharma supplies and food. Then Saeed, Anna Lucia, and Charlie show up, and Saeed tells Henry that a man named Henry Gale was in the grave. Dun, dun, dun! Dun! So yes, show the map again.
Okay.
People went absolutely ballistic. They went crazy. They broke this shit down. Like, there's so many small words, and
yeah.
And people, like, if you go on like Lostpedia, they've broken it down to figure out which hatch is which. And we see most of them, or we end up seeing most of them on the show, but there are some that we don't see, and there are some that, like, aren't even on here. So, yeah. It was insane. Like, yeah. Which, of course, ultimately, at the end of the show, not that big of a deal, but yeah, people went fucking nuts over this shit. What did you think of it when you first saw it, Johnny?
I was like, what the fuck? I took a screenshot of it, obviously. I was like, what the fuck is all this? None of it really made much sense to me. I saw, obviously, the swan is the one that they're in with the big I am here. And this with the, whatever that, the Hippocratic staff, like, whatever that's probably the one where Claire was
literally
at.
Called the staff.
Yeah. Big question mark in the middle.
That's what we find out is the pearl.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. These have
Yeah,
question
don't
marks.
know about those. Yeah.
And the one at the top we can't see fully. This one apparently is gone. Feels like there should be like here and here. But it also kind of, I haven't looked at this compared to the actual Dharma logo because I feel like well, it's, there.
There you go.
It fits with the layout. So there should be a facility here. Well, but this is kind of like,
They're kind of in the corners except for
except for the swan.
Because it's massive.
So, yeah, it's interesting. It's neat to think about. I'm sure it was really fun to
go crazy over it.
To comb through while it was
and it was
week to week.
It was picked through like no other, especially because like, I mean, we found out about the pearl, but there was still a lot that we didn't know about. So yeah. Yeah, what were your other thoughts on the episode?
Okay. So, yeah, I talked about the flashback to Locke's dad dying, apparently. Henry's still sowing the seeds of dissent. Locke gets mad and shoves him back into the armory. They found the balloon with his wife's grave. We hear radio static in the hatch. Who was in the car? What's the voice saying? It's a countdown to lockdown, apparently. What the fuck? Now the electricity's fluctuating. Locke owns his own home inspection company. What led to him getting the job with the box company? I mean, we find out. But why is his dad alive? He did ask you, Locke. He just tricked you into it. Like,
yeah.
Exactly. Kate asks, should I go get a roller? Absolutely, Kate. Go get a roller. And then
that was in my notes as well. The dick measuring contest.
Yeah. And then, oh no, of course, like the thing falls, the door falls on Locke's legs. That's brutal.
Yep.
I said, was he smart enough to not carry the cash? And yes, he was in the flashback. Jack catches Sawyer cheating at dealing the cards.
Yep. Not letting anything by him.
Yeah, the numbers come up again. Henry fell and knocked himself out. LOL. Is the button going to be pressed in time? I said, these guys are going to get Locke and his dad, aren't they? Locke, you should have told her the truth. At least go get your $200,000. Like, fucking, just at least go get your money.
If I was her, I would be like, yeah, $200K? Fuck yeah. Let's go on the craziest honeymoon of our lives. Fuck the wedding.
Then I wrote, blacklight map on the blast door? What the fuck? The shot, I felt like the shot of the countdown was weird. And this is where Jack lies about the hatch plumbing being out because of them hiding Henry. It was this episode. We see a light in the woods. There's a supply drop. And then we get that Henry is an imposter.
Dun, dun, dun. Dun! Indeed. Yeah, and Jack says he learned how to play poker when he was in Phuket, Thailand, which Sawyer asks if that's where he got his tats from, and oh, we'll find out about that next season in a highly regarded episode. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And yeah, my only other note was Kate calling them out on their dick measuring contest, which I thought was great.
Which apparently surprised you and Ralph, that I disliked the case episode more than the tattoo episode.
Yeah.
From season 1.
Yeah. Yeah. No comment. All right, episode 18 is Dave, and this is a Hurley-centric episode. We have the flashbacks of Hurley in rehab, talking to his therapist, and mentions an incident which we find out is apparently he stepped onto a deck and it collapsed and it killed some people. But the therapist tells him, it would have collapsed either way. And we meet his friend Dave. And his therapist tells him that Dave's a bad influence. He just like keeps trying to get Hurley to eat more. And also, oh, I forgot this. Also, after the incident is when Hurley developed his eating disorder as a way to punish himself, which that was very heart-wrenching to watch as someone who has had both disordered eating habits and eating disorders. It is definitely true when people don't eat to punish themselves or eat to punish themselves. It's a very taboo thing that no one wants to talk about, and it sucks. It sucks. But yeah, so watching that was definitely hard. But yeah, so then he finds out that Dave actually isn't real. The therapist shows him a photo, and Dave is not in the photo. And on the island, Hurley keeps seeing Dave around. And at the same time, Hurley and Libby are growing closer, and he actually opens up to her about his eating disorder and his stash, and they dump all the food, and they hug it out, and they get cock-blocked when everyone runs by, excited about the food drop. And that's when he first sees Dave, and he keeps seeing him around the island. And once again, what did the ranch ever do to you? Why do we keep ruining good ranch? He even said to Sawyer, it can last 7 years. 7 years on the shelf. It doesn't even have to be refrigerated once it's open. That's fucking insane. And we're just tossing it out. Like, I get that luckily 2 seconds later there's a new drop of food, but what if this was the only food they have and, like, you know, everyone's stuck there for eternity? Like, you just wasted so much food. I don't know. Don't waste food. I don't like it. And then we have Hurley gets mad at Sawyer and goes off on him, saying all the names back to him. Meanwhile, Jen and some other people are watching and laughing, which I just love that scene because I'm like, yeah, get him, Hurley. Fuck you, Sawyer. And Dave tries to convince Hurley that he's still in the hospital. And he tries to get him to jump off the cliff in order to wake up. But luckily, Libby finds him and talks him off the ledge, literally. And they kiss. Yay! Yay! And we have Saeed and Anna Lucia talking to Henry. And he just keeps telling lies. And, saying that he'll kill Henry. And Locke talks to Henry, and he says that, where am I? Oh, that God can't even see the island, and tells him he never even entered the numbers or pressed the button. And then we get the final reveal of Libby is at the same hospital that Hurley was. Mm-hmm. Dun, dun, dun! Dun! And we kind of have a side story of Echo starting to build the church and Charlie helping him, but it was like 2 very short scenes. And yes, my only 2 notes are, what did the ranch ever do to you people? And Senator Kelly from X-Men is Hurley Shrink.
Oh, I don't think I noticed that one.
Yep. What did you think?
I wrote Libby making Hurley exercise. Hurley's getting rid of all the food, and they just had a new supply drop arrive to restock.
Yep.
There's a bald guy nodding at Hurley. Is that Dave? Why do so many people trip and fall over nothing when running in the woods?
Hey, my mom tripped 76 times when my grandma was at the hospital over absolutely nothing. There was nothing to trip on. It's like linoleum. Is that the type of floor? I forget.
Yeah, like tile.
It's like, but not tiles because there's no edges to it. So there's literally nothing to trip on. And yet my mom, over 3 weeks, tripped 76 times. I counted. And that was just when I was around her. I told her to get new shoes. It was those damn, like, clogs that everyone used to wear. But she didn't have the expensive ones. I think they were, like, replicas of Who's that one shoe wear person? I don't know. Anyways, not important. Anyway. What are your other thoughts?
Notes, I wrote, he's freaking out. Dave's from the mental facility. Saeed's shot at Henry. Ana Lucia deflected the shot. Was that a ploy? Good cop, bad cop. Saw a polar bear on rollerblades with a mango. That Dave is a bad influence. All capital letters. Hurley tackled Sawyer. I mean, Sawyer deserves it.
Yes.
I said
1,000%.
Also, all in capital letters. Talk to Libby, Hurley. She's literally a psychologist, as far as we know. Yeah, Hurley. I'm gonna be one of those guys. One of those guys with a big beard who's naked and throws duty at people.
I died at that. And I watched this 3 times this week, and I died every time.
I said, good. Fuck you, Dave. Don't jump, Hurley. See you in another life, Hurley. I'm like, there's that phrase again. See you in another life. That's come up multiple times. And then Henry DeLocke. God doesn't know how long we've been here, John. He can't see this island any better than the rest of the world can. Henry never entered the numbers.
Or did he?
I'm going to leave this. Yeah. And then Libby was in the home with Hurley. Why? Or did he really make it all up? Because,
it's interesting in that moment when she's literally talking him off the ledge, and she's like, well, you didn't know what that guy's name was on the other side of the island. But at the same time, I feel like when we have dreams or just even daydreaming, there's like people or things there, but like, can we necessarily name them or know what they are? No. Yeah. So I understood that logic and reasoning, but at the same time, I feel like our minds are crazy. I feel
Brains
like it's
are weird.
Very hard to.
When I went to New York City over my birthday one year to visit a friend who lived there, and I feel like my brain lost the ability to process new faces. Like, I kept seeing people I knew, and I'm like, I don't know this person. This person is not in New York. Like, but I kept feeling like I recognized people because, like, there's so many faces everywhere. Yeah. And I felt like my brain was like, I give up. Just insert people here and there that I'm not trying to process these new faces that I'm seeing. Yeah.
Yeah. Our minds work in mysterious ways for sure. Yeah, who knows? And also with like Henry putting in the numbers, not putting in the numbers, I'm guessing he put in the numbers considering, what we've seen happen when they aren't put in. Yeah. And he's just trying to fuck with Locke more. So, yeah. Anything else?
Nope.
All right, moving on. Episode 19, SOS. This is Rose and Bernard centric. We have flashbacks of when they first meet, when she gets stuck in the snow, and Bernard proposing at Niagara Falls, and she tells him she has cancer and has about a year to live, but he still wants to propose, and she says yes. And Bernard takes Rose to Australia to see a miracle healer, and Rose gets really upset when she finds out about it, but she still meets with him, and he says he can't do anything for her. It's not the right place for her, but the island is. And she decides to tell Bernard that she's healed because she doesn't want the rest of their time to be wasted. Which makes sense. On the island, Bernard thinks they've given up on being rescued and decides to make a big SOS sign in the sand. And Rose thinks that he's giving people false hope. And poor Bernard keeps losing people to help, and he's all by himself. And Rose reveals to Locke that she knows he was paralyzed before and in a wheelchair. And Rose tells Bernard the truth about Isaac and how the island healed her. And she's like, yeah, when you know something's inside you that shouldn't be inside you, you can just tell. And I was just like, I don't know if you can really tell that, because I've known plenty of people that have had cancer that like have no idea that they have cancer, i.e. my mom, before she was diagnosed. Like, she had 0 symptoms. So I don't know. I get it's the magic and the miracle of the island and whatnot, but still, I was just like, it's a little bit of a reach. And we also have Jack telling Henry that he's planning something that reminds me of an ex. Yes, I know. I thought of that while I was saying it too. Jack tells Henry that he's planning to trade him for Walt, which Henry says they'll never trade him. And so they take Jack takes Kate to the line to talk to Mr. Friendly, but they get trapped in a net together. Hee hee hee. I forgot how much I loved this scene, is my note. Them trapped in a net together. And Kate finally tells Jack about the medical station and the costumes and the fake beards. They make it out to the spot and Jack yells for them. And Kate says she's sorry. She kissed him. And he says he's not. And just as they're about to kiss again, they get cock-blocked by Michael running out of the jungle.
Yeah.
And we also have the very small side story of Locke trying to redraw the map and gets frustrated and asks Henry again about inputting the numbers, and he just has a creepy smile on his face. So yeah, what did you think of the episode?
Yeah, I wrote that Bernard thinks they've given up getting rescued. Locke should tell Jack that Henry claimed to have never put in the numbers. We get to see Rose and Bernard's meet cute. We see Dharma Lars, I think, for the first time, which is... obviously the name of Ralph's old Lost podcast. Michael is still out in the jungle somewhere, I wrote. Bernard's a dentist. That can be useful. Bernard, will you marry me? Rose, Bernard, I'm dying. That's a hell of an answer.
Yeah.
Echo building a church. Bernard wants to make a sign. Locke's trying to create the map from the blast door. Henry is a poison. I said, you need to ask these people about these. You need to ask people about these kind of things, like taking Rose to a faith healer without telling her.
Yeah, consent, especially because I think they said they were on their honeymoon.
Yeah.
Like, the fuck, I would be pissed too.
I said, well, shit, he made the shot. I forget what that was for. Was that Bernard had to make a shot for Rose to actually go in and talk to the dude?
Huh?
I don't remember.
Someone had to make a shot?
Yeah. I have Locke done with the hatch,
like,
question
what kind
mark.
of shot?
I don't know. I just wrote, well, shit, he made the shot. I feel like I remember someone had to make a shot of something for...
Like
I don't
a shot
remember.
of alcohol?
No, like shooting with a gun or an arrow.
Oh, when they're shooting to get out of the net. Jack made
Yeah, that's what it was. Yes.
Allison.
If anyone needs a faith healer, Allison will do the job for 50% less than the average lying scam artist. Yeah, Locke, I don't believe that Locke is done with the hatch. Rose to Locke about his leg taking 4 weeks to heal. Honey, you and I both know it ain't gonna take that long. And the faith healer is Wayne Pigram, who played Scorpius on Farscape. It feels like he's like the Australian.
Go ahead.
He's like the Australian Patrick Stewart.
Yes. When he came out, I'm like, Patrick Stewart? And I'm like, no, that's not him.
Now, his name is Wayne Pigram. He's a great actor. The character I know him
He's
most for is Scorpius on Farscape, which I'm gonna.
Yeah,
you
he
probably
could literally
don't know.
be Patty Stew's stunt double, doppelganger.
This is. Wait, that's art. I want to.
Sir Patty Stew.
That's awful.
Well, while you're looking for that, I will do my notes. Are you done with your notes?
No, not even close.
Poops.
Let's see. Yeah. So Wayne Pigram is like the Australian Patrick Stewart.
Okay.
And then
so
I
he's
wrote
actually
Rose's.
Australian IRL.
Yeah.
Got it.
Rose is going to lie to Bernard and say the dude healed her. Kate tells Jack about the medical bunker. Rose tells Bernard that she lied. The flashback shows that Rose knew Locke was in a wheelchair. And then, aw, Bernard, we won't ever leave, Rose. Aw. And then Locke is back in the hatch. Thought you were done with the hatch, Locke. And then, yeah, like you said, Michael. I guess.
Quip asks, how much for a faith healing with George Michael's father figure as background music? I don't know. 50%. Ah, that's a deal. I'm sorry. Is this Catwoman and Palpatine had a baby?
That is Scorpius from Farscape. That's who Wayne Pigram played.
Wow. My eggs just shriveled up. Inside me. Went from Zaddy to...
Yeah, Scorpius is fucked up. He's a fucked up character, but he's awesome.
Good to know. So we find out that they've been there for 2 months. I liked the lines of Bernard saying, he's not the president, he's a doctor. And Rose is like, and you're a dentist.
Yeah.
It's like, savage. Savage, Rose. And I think I liked you better when you just hit people with your stick. I thought that was really funny. And Sawyer giving Vincent food at the end, I was just like, it's cute. Sawyer does have a soul. Sometimes. All right.
Hi, Ralph.
There's Ralph. Hi, Ralph. Shall we move on to the next? Okay.
Yeah, if that's all you had.
All right. Episode 20, Two for the Road. This is Ana Lucia centric. This pretty much picks up with the flashbacks right after last time, right after she kills the guy who shot her, and her mom confronts her about it, and she quits. And Ana Lucia is now working at an airport and runs into Jack's dad at the airport bar. And he asks her to go to Sydney with him as protection, and he names her Sarah as her code name. And that's just fucking creepy. Like,
Yeah,
that's your son's wife.
Yeah,
or
that's
ex-wife,
Jack's
I guess,
wife.
at this point. Like, the fuck? Forgot about that. And then we have Ana Lucia and Jack's dad go to see a blonde-haired woman and he's asking her to see his daughter. Question mark. I'll come back with a question for you, Johnny. And Christian opens up door and hits Sawyer and goes off into the bar, which, yeah, pretty much he does not too long after this. And Ana Lucia is at the airport behind Jack, hearing his speech about his dad. And so she calls her mom saying she wants to come home. On the island, Henry tries to take out Ana Lucia when she brings him food, calling her the killer, which I'm like, okay. And Henry tells Locke that he's one of the good ones and tells Locke that he was coming for him, which I was like, sure, Jan, sure. And Ana Lucia bangs Sawyer for the gun, which so random. Like, they had zero chemistry at all, like zero moments at all before this, and then they just like hate fuck all of a sudden. And Michael wakes up saying he found them and they're all ragged looking, which Kate is very sus of. And he's like, we can take them. Which he's like, I only saw 2 guns. I'm like, well, they just took 5, so they at least have 7. Which we find out, I don't know if it's in this episode or the next episode, that they only have 7 at this point. So Jack, Kate, and Locke try to get the guns back from Sawyer when he realizes Ana Lucia took his and she's alone with Henry. And so she has him untie himself, but she ultimately decides not to kill him. And Michael wakes up and Ana Lucia tells him about the other that they caught, and Michael says he'll kill him since Ana Lucia couldn't. And then shoots Anna Lucy and Libby and lets out Henry and shoots himself in the shoulder. Which, did you see this coming at all?
As soon as he killed Anna Lucia, I knew what was happening. I wrote, right as soon as he shot Anna Lucia, I'm like, the others sent Michael back to free Henry, didn't they? They promised him Walt in return. I bet that's what it was. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which, as we find out, it's a lot more than that, but yeah.
But that's the gist
part
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The jizz of it. Yeah. So before that, you didn't see Michael's turn at all?
Let me go through. No, because I didn't write anything about like feeling like Michael was acting sus or anything.
Okay. What was I going to ask you about? I guess that must have been. When Anna Lucia is in Australia, who did you think the blonde lady was?
I did not think it was who it turns out to be. Okay. I don't know that I had any idea. I thought it was going to be. I did not know who it was going to be. I have no idea. Here's what I wrote. I wrote, Anna Lucia's mom is not stupid. She quit. I did not expect her to quit. I wrote that he was suckering you in, Anna. Duh. Anna Lucia and Jack's dad. The man in charge is one of the dudes from the orientation video, I assume. That's what I was thinking at that point.
That's my only other note I have, but it's the first time we hear about the man in charge. Well, you do know a little bit more because you watched season 4.
Yeah.
At this point, that's what you thought, though, right?
Yes. Yeah, I figured it was one of the people from the orientation video.
You think they're two different people in the two videos? One's name is Wick and the other's name is Candle. It's the same dude.
Are they the same dude? Oh, I don't know.
They just did different candle-like names.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah. Henry said he was coming for Locke because he's one of the good ones. I said Jack has a half-sister in Sydney he doesn't know about, apparently. Hurley, dude. Oh, this is probably in the that's what they said, isn't it?
Leave it. It is.
Yep.
It is.
I noted that because it made me laugh. I wrote, is Anna Lucia actually fucking Sawyer, or is she just hustling him? Hurley and Libby have a picnic. Jack, Locke, and Kate go to get the guns from Sawyer. Anna Lucia did steal his guns, so she was kind of hustling him. And then I wrote, all capital letters, what the fuck, Michael? He killed Anna Lucia, ? Then I have the note about the others sending Michael back, promising him Walt in return. And then I said, and now he shot Libby. Fuck. Big capital letters. And he shot himself. What the fuck is going on?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Fucking Anna Lucia. Not that upset. God damn it. Why'd they have to? Why Libby? Like.
And she was just there. She was just getting blankets.
Yeah.
For their picnic.
God.
And this is really going to torture Hurley because if he hadn't forgotten them, he wouldn't have been there.
Yep. Yeah, so that sad. Really
it's sad.
Sucks.
Yeah. Sucks big old dick. In not a good way. Sucks big old sea urchin. There we go. Yeah, I don't have anything else. I already mentioned my notes.
Then,
move on?
Yep.
Okay. Episode 21, ? Literally, that's the title, is a question mark. This is a Echo-centric episode, and Echo is now a priest in Australia, and he's trying to get to America when a miracle comes up, And the father of the miracle daughter, as I'm calling them, is the psychic that Claire saw. So another connection, Easter egg connection person. And his wife is doing this to spite him. But when Echo gets to the airport, the miracle girl comes up to him and says that Yemi said that he's a good priest and has faith in Echo. And Echo's like, what the fuck? On the island, Echo has a dream about dead Ana Lucia telling him to help Luck, and gets a bunch of flashes seeing his brother Yemi at the computer, who tells him the work is important there and to have John take him to the question mark. Kate, Jack Sawyer, and Locke get back to the hatch and find Michael shot, and Echo shows up as well with Henry Gale gone, but Libby is still kind of alive, which kind of throws a wrench in Michael's plan, but not for too long. Echo goes after Henry and tells Locke to take him to the question mark, which happens to be under the plane that killed Boone, and also the plane that his brother was in. They find out it's an observation station called the Pearl Observation Station, with cameras in the Swan and other hatches, and another orientation video. And basically, Locke finds out the button is all an experiment, and he's now upsetty spaghetti. And Echo still thinks it's important work, though. And they actually use the heroin to treat Libby, and Hurley tells Libby he's sorry he forgot the blankets, and she says Michael, and she dies, and it's so sad. And they're like, yeah, Michael's fine. And she's like, no, he fucking murdered me. I hate that.
Yeah.
The misinterpreting the last words seems to happen a lot in shows, especially ones with dragons, and then whole wars get fought over it.
Indeed.
Yeah. Yeah. What were your thoughts on the episode?
So I wrote, is Echo a prophet? The flashes are his history so far. Like, the flashes that we see are like his past. Echo's brother tells him the work being done is more important than anything, and it is in danger. You must help John. He has lost his way. He must take you to the question mark. Then I wrote in all capital letters with copious exclamation points, Libby's not dead. Copious. Get fucked, Michael. Ana Lucia is 100% dead.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Echo says, where's the question mark, John? And I wrote, it's in the middle of the blacklight map. I wrote, Locke. Yeah, Locke, you used to believe in the visions in your dreams. Why are you discounting echoes now? Then I just wrote Hurley with a sad crying face. Hey, this dude's the fortune teller. And I wrote, so is he actually a fraud, or is he just telling a story because the fame would end up causing him issues?
I don't know. Who knows?
I wrote, the plane is in the question mark. The hatch leads to another bunker. This one with a bank of TVs showing the other bunkers. Orientation 5 of 6, Station 5, the Pearl. And then I wrote, so the code/button is a social experiment with no outcome. And I said, damn it, Libby wasn't able to say anything more than Michael before she died. Poor Libby and poor Hurley. But mostly poor Libby, because she's the one who died. Fuck.
Yes. But Hurley now has to live with it.
Yeah, but I feel like we should... I don't know. Who should you feel worse for? The person who lost their life, or the person who still has their life, but has to continue without the person who lost their life in their life?
What is grief but love persevering?
Oh, there you go. Oh, shit. Almost knocked my drink over.
Yeah, I don't. Well, it's hard because it depends on your relation to the person that died, because obviously you're sad that they're dead, but like, how can you really feel bad for them when they're dead? You know? Like, they no longer have feelings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas, like, I feel bad for Hurley because he still has feelings and has to deal with it. What is grief? It can be both. No, you're not wrong, Quip. But you know, if you're gonna like feel like obviously feel bad for Libby dying, but like nothing you can do about that now.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
That's how I see it, at least. This episode made me think, how in the fuck did Sawyer bring all the guns and heroin into his tent with no one noticing? Like, not one person. You can't really, like, hide the guns. Like, maybe if they were all handguns, but there was rifles in there, too. So, like, how did he, when he stole them episodes ago, like, how did no one see it? It just made me think of that. Anyways, that was my one question.
Sawyer's a sneaky fucker, apparently. I half expect that he's sneaking out at night when everybody else is asleep and gathering stuff.
I mean, he did it at night, but everyone was awake back when he did that.
Were they?
Never mind. Anyways, moving on. Anything else about question mark?
No.
All right. Episode 22, 3 minutes. Not to be confused with the great song 4 minutes. I only got 4 minutes to save the world. This is a Michael-centric episode, and his flashbacks are once again on the island. So we have 2 episodes this season that are... No, actually 4. Well, kind of. Almost 4. That are like flashbacks to the island instead of flashbacks pre-island.
Right.
So we find out what's happened with Michael the last 13 days. And yeah, we see he gets caught by the others in their costumes, including Mr. Friendly. And then we see the events from the hunting party episode, but from this perspective. And Alex is there talking to Michael. They go to their fake camp where we see he gets his blood drawn, and Miss Clue asks him questions about Walt, and Michael gets 3 minutes to talk to Walt, which is why this episode is called 3 minutes. And Walt tells Michael they're pretending and have been running tests on him, which is very a la testing for midichlorians with the Jedi, or as they're calling them in the Acolyte M. And they tell them that they tell Michael that he has to bring Jack, Kate, Sawyer, and Hurley back, and they'll give him Walt, and he can go free on a boat, which he also asked for. There's other people in that song.
Take a look at me.
It's not just Justin, so that's why. Yes, I'm on a boat. I got my swim trunks and my flippy floppies. I'm flipping burgers. You at Kinko Straight flipping copies. I used to have that whole song memorized. And present day Michael is struggling with what he's done and persistent about it being only the group of people, a certain group of people, to go get Walt. And Hurley doesn't want to go, of course. And we have Anna Lucy and Libby's funeral, and Saeed is sus of Michael and thinks that he's leading them into a trap, which you're not wrong. I'm riding on a dolphin doing flips and shit. Yep. And we have the side story of Charlie gives Claire the vaccine from the drop. Vincent brings one of the Mary statues to Charlie, and he finds Sawyer's stash, which Vincent finding his stash and then like eating food in it gave me very much PTSD. I was like, what is he eating? Is he eating the heroin? Oh, dear God. Oh, no. Oh, no. And Charlie throws them all in the ocean, and Locke sees him doing this. And Claire holds Charlie's hand at the funeral. And then they see a boat, which is very like last season towards the season finale when they're about to push the raft in and they see the black smoke. So this is this season's version of that. What were your thoughts on this episode?
So I saw Michael's note has Jack, Kate, Hurley, and Sawyer on it. They say we need him about Michael. And then they fucking bolo him, like, with an actual, like, bolo toss. It's hilarious. Michael is trading those 4 for his son. Charlie gives Claire the vaccination kit from the pallet. He's about to ask Claire something, but she cuts him off when she sees that Michael's back. Son asks Michael what happened to Anna Lucia and Libby, and I wrote all in caps, "They were murdered by you fucking asshole!" Because he's a dick. I wrote, is that Alex Rousseau? And yes it is. Saeed added to the posse by Sawyer. Michael is not happy, but he wasn't on the list. So how is that going to fuck things up?
I don't know.
They ask Michael if he is Walt's biological father, and did Walt ever appear in a place he wasn't supposed to be?
Yes.
He has.
Which, I mean, we've seen it on the island, but it also makes it seem like before he was on the island that maybe Michael saw him as well.
Maybe. Michael talks Saeed out of coming. I wrote all in caps, "Fucking follow them, Saeed." I said, "Oh no, Vincent led Charlie to Sawyer's stash. I guess he's a drug sniffing dog now."
Yep.
I wrote, "Charlie actually threw all the heroin statues in the ocean. Good job. Hopefully the current doesn't bring them back."
I was thinking that, and like, yes, we put a lot of pollution into our oceans, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be a heroined up ocean. And I was like, I hope he did this like farther away from their beach, and like people don't go into it. I don't think it can be, well, I guess it can be absorbed in your mouth and your holes. Oh my. Everybody take a look at that motherfucking boat. Yeah.
Hurley also refuses a girl, which fucks up Michael's plan even more. I said, Walt had a growth spurt since season 1. Because that is...
just a little.
Just a little.
It's not as bad as the next seasons. Because, he's, like, prepubescent in season 1. And, like, you can't really keep him young from growing.
Locke cut off his splint and left. Is he going back to the Pearl? I say, fuck yes, Saeed. Quote, I think Michael has been compromised. I said, no, Hurley, don't go with them. Claire grabs Charlie's hand. I don't know how I feel about that. And then I wrote in all capital letters, a sailboat?
Question mark, question mark. Who did you think was in the sailboat?
I have no idea. See, it's one of those things. This is one of the things about binging it rather than watching it week by week. I don't really, like, an episode ends and I start the next one without really thinking too much about it. I don't have the week of time to converse and
you lucky duck,
theorize about it. So I do think the experience of watching the show now compared to when it aired is very different. It's kind of like with Game of Thrones. I was not like with Game of Thrones, I watched up till like Tyrion's trial. Like the last thing I remember is Tyrion escaping. Like he shoots Tywin when he's on the toilet, or as they say here in Pennsylvania, they shoot him when he's on the turlet.
Turlet.
And then I just stopped watching. I didn't pick it back up again until like the year after it actually ended. I finally decided to binge all the way through, and I think that last season plays better as a binge than it does weekly viewing.
I know. Because I've been wanting to go back and watch and see if it does as well. But I think it's been 5 years now, which is crazy.
I think you'll probably be tainted because you watched it while it was occurring, and you'll have those memories of like, this sucked. I can't believe they did this. Whereas I remember everybody complaining about it, and so my expectations were real low. But then I just binged them all, and I watched it, and I'm like, this was not great, but it was fine.
It was something. It happened. Yeah, it was a big thing for me. Quick side note, quick tangent time. Big thing for me for it was like I read all the books, and I rewatched the shit out of the show and watched every fucking like YouTube channel and website that had all these theories on what could happen, and they had such better ideas, and I was just like, wow, this could have like been so much better. Because Danny's turn, yes, there was evidence to it, but especially because they had to shorten the last few seasons so much, I feel like they could have done more to make it more obvious. And also, like, it just sucked. Like, we were all rooting for her, and for her to turn, it just sucked.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to Lost. I thought it was funny that Sawyer admitted to Jack that he screwed Ana Lucia, and that's how she got his gun, and he calls Jack a friend. I was like, aww.
Sure.
Yeah. I completely forgot about Miss Clue, which, I mean, going forward, yeah. And
Yeah, I did write that down, but I wrote Miss CLU parentheses E end parentheses question mark and then KLUGH.
Mm-hmm. That is.
But
how
it still
spelled.
is it's
Clue.
still like, is she a clue?
Yep. And I had the same note that it was very interesting that she's asking Michael if he's seen Waltz anywhere that he shouldn't be. Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
Do you have any other notes, thoughts, questions, theories before we move on to finale part 1?
I do not. But
Okay.
while you recap that, I gotta run to I need to take a bio break real quick. I'll be right back.
You do that. All right, everyone. All right, let's talk shit about Johnny while he's gone. Just kidding. All right, episode 23, Live Together, Die Alone, part 1. This is a Desmond-centric episode. The flashbacks include him getting out of jail, and Penny's dad bribes him to stay away from her. And Libby, out of all people, buys Desmond a coffee, and he tells her about his plan to sail around the world, which I'm like, she's a complete stranger. And you're telling this person your life story. And we find out it's a race put on by Penny's dad, and he wants to, like, prove himself, in a sense. And Libby happens to have a boat that was her husband's, who died a month ago, coincidentally. LOL, Allison. And Penny shows up where Desmond is about to run the stadium, where he runs into Jack, and asks why he didn't write to her. Little does she know he wrote to her a fucking lot, but her dad kept them from getting to her. And then we see Desmond crashing on the island and Kelvin saving him. And then on the island, on the island, we have Jack, Sawyer, and Saeed swim out to the boat with guns and realize it's Desmond. He says that they're stuck in a snow globe, no outside world or escape, which I was like, put a pin in that. And Saeed's plan is to take the boat to meet the others by sea. Sun and Jin go with him, and they see the four-toed foot statue, which was also a big deal at the time. And also, like, yeah, like Saeed says, why does it just have 4 toes? And John wants Echo to let the timer run out on the computer and not input the numbers, and tries to destroy it, so Echo locks him outside. He gets Charlie to help him get back in, though. The crew makes their way to the others, and Saeed takes the boat there. They encounter some of the others and kill one, and Jack calls Michael out for orchestrating the whole thing. And so Jack fills them in on the backup plan with Saeed, although ends up not really working out so well. And Locke and Desmond talk. Locke tells him about the Pearl and the Swan being a psych experiment, and they trigger a lockdown to keep Echo out. And that's the episode. What are your thoughts on the finale part 1?
I have the boat appears abandoned, and then I'm like, Desmond? I wrote, the island is fucking Ravenloft. So, you probably don't know
You're
what
gonna have to
Ravenloft
explain
is.
that, yeah. I thought you were
Ravenloft
gonna say
is...
Ravenclaw.
No, Ravenloft is a campaign world in Dungeons and Dragons. So Ravenloft is the demi-plane of Dread. It has a bunch of different domains. Each one is controlled by a Dark Lord, who is an evil person from somewhere that got sucked into Ravenloft as punishment. And all the domains are separated by walls of mist. If you walk into the mist, you probably just end up getting turned around and walking right back into the whatever domain you were in. You do not get to leave Ravenloft unless the dark powers of Ravenloft...
$200.
Yeah, you do not get to leave Ravenloft unless the dark powers of Ravenloft allow you to leave Ravenloft.
Interesting. Very
So
interesting.
There's some similarities there, it seems.
Especially with the mist and like the black smoke monster.
Yeah. I read Desmond flashback, and now Locke doesn't want the code to be entered. Charles Widmore, I said, isn't that the pregnancy test that Sun used? Which, surprised I remembered, but I did. I said, is that
was
Libby
her
talking?
test.
Yeah, it was
like the
Widmore
brand.
Pharmaceuticals. Pharmaceuticals
Oh, yeah.
was the brand
right,
of the pregnancy test.
Good
I said,
catch.
is that Libby talking to Desmond? That is totally Libby. Like, I said, Saeed is taking Sun and Jin on the boat. This is getting crowded and messy.
Just a wee
Kate
bit.
says, and since when did you and Jack start talking about me? I'm like, it's not just about you, Kate. Fuck off.
It's a joke. She made a joke. Sheesh.
I am biased against her. Jack didn't load Michael's gun, and now Michael is suspicious. Why is Locke crying in the woods? What's with the giant four-toed foot?
Yep.
I like Saeed's line, I don't know what is more disquieting, the fact that the rest of the statue is missing, or that it has 4 toes. I wrote browse out in the bunker, but I think I meant brown out in the bunker. Kate, yes. Hashtag
Speaking of
Kate is a
brown.
dumpster fire.
Whew.
Hashtag
So
shut
glad
up,
you
Kate.
didn't hear that sneeze. That was loud.
Desmond and Desmond and Locke are forcing a lockdown. Massive storm suddenly. I think
usual.
the weather is fake, and then I read, oh, this is a flashback. Never mind. Desmond, in an accident boating, wakes up on the shore and is dragged into the woods by men in yellow hazmat suits. He's totally dead. The guy in the bunker with Desmond is the American military dude that had Saeed, Kevin Inman. Kelvin Inman. Clancy Brown asks, are you him? Which is what someone asked Locke that. Wasn't it Locke that they asked? Are you him? Someone asked someone else, are you him?
Desmond asked Locke, are you him?
Yes.
And then it asked him, what did one snowman say to the other?
Yeah, and I wrote that. What did one
Do you
snowman
know what
say
that
to the
answer
other?
is?
I do not.
Smells like carrots.
Okay. Missing parts of the film. Rosinski made some edits. Echo's too big for the vents. I said, well, that went tits up. They were being followed, and Jack confronts Michael. And now they know that Michael killed Libby and Ana Lucia, and they know that Jack knew it was a trap.
Indeed. Yeah, Locke telling Echo not to be a slave to the numbers. I was like, that's a very loaded statement there, sir.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we find out the answer to the snowman question. Smells like carrots, which there's a lot of like lost groups, like Facebook groups and stuff, that'll ask that question as a way to make sure you're an actual fan. And the bird
Way to
flies
gatekeep
by.
Lost fans.
Yeah. The bird flies by saying Hurley's name just like it did in the finale last season when they were hiking through. Do you remember that? I don't know if it said his name last season, but there was that big bird. Like, it keeps happening. Desmond tells Claire the vaccines do nothing, which I was like, okay, anti-vax. And Sawyer's theory that the others are aliens made me laugh. Those are all my notes. God,
Okay.
my nose pipe is rough right now.
Your nose
It
pipe?
feels my nose pipe, it feels like raw. Like, it feels like it got, like, chafed by sneezing, you know? Not in, like, the
Gotcha.
cold way. Like, there's nothing to sniff. Like, nothing came out of me. Anyways, moving on to episode 24, Live Together, Die Alone, part 2. And we get more Desmond. Yes, we have Kelvin making the map on the blast doors and tells Desmond that Radzinski shot himself, which also, him doing it on the blast doors, I'm like, there's clearly a black light there. Why don't you just turn the black light on so you can see what the fuck you're doing? 2 + 2 = 4. Crazy idea. And also the like brush he's doing it with, it had to have been like a much finer brush considering like those small words and letters that were on there. So I don't know, silly. That's my nitpick. And Calvin drunkenly shows Desmond the failsafe key. And then when he goes outside, Desmond notices a tear in his hazmat suit and follows him with one of the what? Oh, that's right. Desmond was wearing one of those like gaiters, you know, that you can like pull over your mouths, but you like wear them on your neck to cool yourself. It reminded me of like in the beginning of COVID when people thought that it was actually a mask, like it actually filtered stuff when it doesn't. And he's fixing up Desmond's boat and tells him to come with him, and they fight, and Desmond accidentally kills him. And everything goes to shit in the hatch, but somehow stops, ? And then Desmond finds Penny's letter in the Charles Dickens book and is about to give up when he hears Locke pounding on the hatch. So they both gave each other hope at the end of the day, which I thought was nice. On the island, Charlie shows Echo where the dynamite is, and they use it to try to blow up the blast doors, but it doesn't work. Locke finally confesses to Desmond about how guilty he felt about Boone and how he thought the light from the hatch was a sign, and he was like, well, it was probably just going to the bathroom. Saeed finds the others' encampments abandoned and a rock wall behind the station doors, so it's not really a Dharma station. Jack and Co. find the logbooks from the Pearl dumped in one spot and realize Saeed is way far away from them, and then they get tranked by the others. And they're taken out to the pier where a fishing boat comes with Ben Regale, as people liked to call him. Because Ben and Henry, yep.
Yeah.
And Desmond realizes he brought them to the island in that system failure after Kelvin was killed. Or he killed Kelvin, essentially. And starts to believe the button is now real. And Locke breaks the computer. Desmond tells Locke about the day he turned on the light and goes down to turn the failsafe key. A loud noise and a blinding white light goes off on the island when it's turned, and the hatch door lands on the beach. And Charlie shows back up at the beach, but there's no Locke or Echo or Desmond. Ben tells Michael to take the boat and use a certain heading to find rescue. And he's like, you're probably not going to tell anyone what happened because then they're going to find out what you did, and you don't want that to happen. And they let Hurley go back to tell the others not to come back there, and Jack, Kate, and Sawyer get bags put on their heads. And then we have this random cute scene where Claire and Charlie finally kiss, Which I thought was very random to like put it at the end there. Like, I guess that was the one little happy moment that they squished in at the end. And then we see, it's not really a post-credit scene, it's just like a post scene where there's a station at an icy place. I forget exactly where it's located. I just said icy place. And there's an anomaly detected, and they call Penny saying they think they found it. Dun, dun, dun!
Dun!
That's the finale, folks.
That it is.
What did you think of it, Johnny, as your first time watching it?
I said, Jesus Christ, they're taking dynamite into the bunker. Aren't blast doors made to withstand that?
Literally.
Desmond is sure that it will withstand the blast. I wrote the hostiles. They talk about the hostiles. Desmond wants to go out. Kelvin says no. Rosinski started the glow-in-the-dark map, and Kelvin's continuing it. Get the fuck out, Chuck! I wrote, I think Echo just died. The tunnel under the bunker is a final failsafe. Turn the key, and everything goes away. They find out the button discharges an electromagnetic charge before it gets too big. Saeed is solid snaking it. The other village is empty. False doors. Pneumatic canister pile just out in the open. Big fuck you, Michael. And they're all caught. Desmond, I felt like Desmond wasn't keeping much distance from Kelvin when he was following him. And I also don't think someone will die from that kind of blow to the head, but I don't know. I felt like it wasn't enough for him to just be immediately dead.
Yeah. I don't know. Rocks can kill you, man.
Yeah, Desmond says, I think I crashed your plane because of system failure on September 22nd.
That's when it premiered.
Yeah, and that's when the Getting Lost doc is premiering.
Yep. Very good, John. So
Henry is the one in charge, obviously Ben. Locke breaks the computer. Desmond uses the failsafe key. There's a big white light and noise, and then what? They tell Michael and Walt to follow the compass bearing, and they'll get rescued. I said, I can't believe he got away with it, and is getting to leave. Hugo has to go back and tell the rest to never come to the others' camp. I read, I guess Claire has forgiven Charlie, shrugging emoji. And my last note is that ending is weird. I'd be so pissed if I was watching this when it aired. Like,
I mean,
what the fuck?
We'll go into it more next week with Ralph, but what did you think of that ending with them finding the anomaly and calling Penny?
I don't know if I knew what to think, because and it's one of those things that I didn't think about it much because I just jumped right in to season 3, episode 1. I didn't have
You asshole.
like
You have to wait like 4 months like the rest of us.
no, I got to just I'm like that's why I said that ending felt weird. I'd be so pissed if I was watching this when it aired, and then I immediately started watching season 3. Dude, it's been 20 years. Come on, like you can't be mad at me at this point.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
I've had that too. I've had that with the season 3 finale of Star Trek: The Next Generation, I believe. I had to wait a whole summer to find out what happened because it was a cliffhanger. Because except for the first 2 like every season of Next Gen, the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th seasons all ended with a cliffhanger. Part 1 of 2. So. Yeah.
Yeah. This is this cliffhanger, yeah, they really just like to do cliffhangers with Lost. Clearly. It was a big one because then it like brought in the outside world. I mean, they're all obviously significant, but yeah. Anyways, I thought it was interesting that Kelvin said that he left the army because people followed his orders, which I was like, oof. Yeah, not good. And Locke saying to Echo, I was wrong, and that look he had was just so iconic. And then my last lines that are also iconic is when Michael asks Benry, "Who are you people?" And Ben's like, "We're the good guys, Michael." And everyone's just like, "What the fuck?" What
Yeah, right.
the fuck? And that's all my notes for that. Yeah, we'll get into this season more in detail next week with Ralph. So make sure to tune in to that. We just wanted to talk about each of the episodes. Obviously, we have a lot more thoughts than just that. But those are just our thoughts on the episodes. Shall we do That's What They Said?
We shall.
Okay.
Who is starting?
I don't know. You go.
Okay.
I meant to check it before, but it's fine. Doesn't really matter. Go.
I want you to show me what you do.
I want to do a big one.
Hold on to this.
She strapped you down.
How deep?
Harder.
Mind if I join?
Hold that end.
Can you taste that?
It's just not coming.
Not it's.
Oh, damn it. I'm just not coming.
It's hard. I know.
You want me to come with you?
Get your hands off my damn mangoes!
Dude, nice hole.
That's the Hurley line from
Yeah. So good.
Whatever you want me to do, I'll do it.
I beat him.
Now, because you've been a good girl, time for your surprise.
Turn around.
We can do this all night.
Maybe you should do it one more time.
Yay!
Yay! Those are your That's What They Said for Lost Season 2, episodes 13 through 24. Mango Gate 2005. Well, I think this episode premiered in 2006, so 2006.
Yeah.
On the island, it was 2004. If we're getting technical. Anyways, any final thoughts, questions, theories before we keep that
no,
outta
obviously
here?
I was, and we'll talk more about that kind of stuff during the wrap-up next week
yeah.
for this season. But yeah, obviously
Yes.
I was hooked because I jumped right into season 3
Yep.
and then jumped right into season 4. I've
Yes.
not watched season 5 yet, but we're going to do that soon because that's coming up here.
Coming up
in not
real
too long.
quick. Yeah. Well, thanks everyone for joining us,
That's what
whether
they
you're
said.
watching live or on the replay. We appreciate it. Make sure to smack that like, smack that subscribe, smack that bell icon. Do all the smacking. We are glad you are here. And yeah, tune in next Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 Eastern. We'll be talking about season 2 as a whole. And every other Friday through the end of September, we'll be talking about Lost. Same time, same place. You know where to find us. And Johnny, is there anything you want to plug?
Starting Saturday, August 3rd, will be the re-stream of the first half of the first season of The Sundered Veil on twitch.tv/Diced Thespians. Did I have a thing for that? No, it's fine. You'll find it. It'll be, keep an eye out. We'll be posting links and whatnot as it comes up to it, but we will air the first 5 episodes of season 1 again on Saturday the 3rd, the second 5 on Saturday the 10th, and then season 2 episode 1 will premiere Monday, August 12th at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific.
Very exciting. Much excitement.
Indeed.
And yeah, if you want to follow us at GTFO channel on Instagram, pretty much only post there. And Trek Retrek every Thursdays, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern. Same old, same old. And we'll probably be talking about Deadpool, maybe. We'll see.
Probably. We'll see where we can fit it in.
I need to get that damn bucket.
That's what they said.
Yeah. And I need to get new tickets because I thought I was not going to be here, but I will be here. Anyways, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Thanks for geeking the F out with us. Bye. You're looking at me like I can't say the thing. Bye.
Well,
We'll dance it out.
See you in another life.
See you in another life, brother. Yeah, we should do that. Why didn't we think of that before?
I don't know. Bye.
Bye. Hope you find your dad.